Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My colleague, Ms. Anju Dhan, and I, Anima Lal, extend our warmest welcome to each and every one invited here on a very auspicious moment for a spectacular evening on behalf of the entire team of the Rajkumar College family. Thank you for coming and giving a reason to so many faces to smile. It means a lot as this moment is special for us and we have gathered here for the evening to make it more important. We are truly blessed with our presence. I am profusely elated to take this opportunity to introduce our chief guest, Ambassador Sujan R. Chenoy, a former Indian diplomat currently serving as the Director General of the Manohar Parrikar Institute for Defense Studies and Analysis, New Delhi, since 3rd January 2019. Sir was India's ambassador to Japan and Mexico and High Commissioner of India to Belize and the Republic of Marshall Islands. His diplomatic career spanned for 37 long years. He is also the Indian chair of the Think 20 core group during India's G20 presidency. A specialist with 2 decades of professional expertise on China, he headed the Indian expert group of diplomatic and military officials dealing with the boundary dispute and confidence-building measures between 1996-2000. During his Indian Foreign Service career, he was also the Deputy Chief of Mission in Saudi Arabia and Consul General of India in Shanghai and Sydney, besides serving in the Indian missions in Hong Kong and Beijing. Sir was India's representative to the First Committee of the United Nations from 1992 to 1995, dealing with disarmament and international security. On deputation to India's National Security Council Secretariat for 4 years between 2008-2012, he anchored internal and external national security policy issues and strategic dialogues with counterpart organizations around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, may I draw your attention towards the big screen for the live visual telecast of the unveiling ceremony of the T-55 battle tank. The Honorable Chief Guest, Ambassador Sujan Chenoy, Mrs. Vidya Chenoy, Guest of Honor, Lieutenant General Karanveer Singh Rar, ABSM, President of the Rajkumar College Board of Trustees, the Honorable Members of the Board, members of the founding families, acting principal, along with other dignitaries and invitees are moving towards the venue for unveiling the tank. They are being escorted by the school band led by Jui Gosai. The band is playing the quick march, a Nepali tune, Mili Juli.
Is a series of Soviet mail battle tanks introduced in the years following the Second World War. The series is the most produced tank in the history and estimated production numbers for the series range from 96,500 to 1 lakh. The tank was inducted into the Indian Army in 1968 and extensively used in 1965 and 1971 Indo-Pak War. As per sources, the tank weighs 37 tons with a speed of 50 kilometers per hour, fuel capacity of 96 liters, was the most robust and sturdy battle tank designed by the Soviets. The war tank symbolizes a sense of glory and reminds us of gallant sacrifices of our armed forces in the past wars and battles. The installation of the war trophy would serve as an inspiration not only to the youth, cadets, but also to the local population. We applaud and appreciate the idea of a T-55 tank, first conceived by our late principal, Mr. Vinod Kumar Thakkar. The prized possession is a fulfillment of a long-standing desire. The invaluable initiative to procure the armored combat vehicle T-55 for the Rajkumar College was further nurtured and guided by the past and the present Board of Trustees and the following gentlemen. Mr. Shankar Singh Adhikari, former principal, the Rajkumar College, Rajkot; Colonel S.S. Bisht, SM, Commandant of 2 Gujarat BN NCC Rajkot; Brigadier S.N. Tiwari, Group Commander of NCC Group Headquarter Rajkot; Major General Arvind Kapoor, Additional Director General of NCC Gujarat; Ambassador Sujan R. Chinoy, Director General of Manohar Parrikar, Institute of Defence Studies and Analysis.
The Honorable Chief Guest will now unveil the plaque and the tank while the band plays the tune Lochleven Castle. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the unveiling of the tank, the battle war tank, the majestic battle war tank. Please put your hands together. A very prestigious and a historical moment for the Rajkumar College, Rajkot. The ceremonial tilak is being applied on the battle tank by our chief guest. A big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, sirs. May I request Ambassador Sujan Chinoy to say a few words.
respected Thakur Sahib of Rajkot, Shri Mandhata Singh Ji, respected members of the Board of Trustees of the Rajkumar College, General Karambir Brar, Director General of the Armored Corps of the Indian Army, Police Commissioner Shri Bhardwaj, distinguished friends, boys and girls. It's a matter of great privilege for me to be back in Rajkot, and this time for a very special occasion, that is to dedicate this T-55 tank to the school, to its heroes, to its great martial traditions, and to all those who taught us to be disciplined in our lives. This tank, the T-55, symbolizes the resilience of the nation, the resolute determination of India to face all challenges and to defeat adversaries whenever required. India is a nation that seeks peace. India has a civilizational ethos that is founded on the twin principles of Satya and Ahimsa, the teachings of Buddha and Mahatma Gandhi. But this is not a country that is found wanting for bravery in the defense of its territory and sovereignty whenever required. The T-55 tank is very special. This is the first time that the city of Rajkot, for that matter, any city in Gujarat, any school in Gujarat, has been given such a beautiful war trophy, thanks to the Indian Army. It is an occasion on which I'd like you all to spare a moment to recall those that preceded us, our teachers, those that conducted the NCC for us at school. And I would like to personally count among them a very special tribute to be paid to Mr. Peter Rogerson. Mr. Peter Rogerson, who lived in this bungalow for many years and also invited me as a bungalow boy to live on the first floor for a full year, was himself from the British Indian Army. He was from the Sikh regiment. He had made India his home, and it is he who had started this wonderful tradition of the searchlight tattoo, which was among the best tattoos that I've seen anywhere in the world, equivalent to what you would see in the armed forces. On this great occasion, we must also recall individuals like Shri Bharat Singh Ji, and we must also recall all the other ANOs who taught us to be disciplined young men. On this occasion, we recall General Rajendra Singh Ji, the first Chief of Army Staff that this great school produced. We also remember and pay tribute to Major Muhammad Ali Sheikh of Mangrol, Veer Chakra, who laid down his life in service of the nation in the tank battle at Philora in September 1965. We also recall the great sacrifice made by Lieutenant Nagarjun Karsanbhai Sisodia of the Gorkha Regiment, who lost his life in 1971. There are many such heroes. There are many such distinguished officers and generals, air marshals, and commodores and admirals that the school has produced, too numerous for me to mention by name. But let me mention here that tanks are in fact the epitome of the fighting spirit, the offensive spirit of a nation. Tanks have evolved from cavalry regiments. They have a very long history and tradition going back nearly 250 years. The Indian Army has roughly 67 regiments in the Armored Corps, of which the oldest is the President's Bodyguard, which was set up in 1773. As early as the First World War, we had Lieutenant Dajiraj Jadeja of Jamnagar, who lost his life in France in 1917, and he was also from one of the finest cavalry regiments of the British Indian Army. So tanks have always defined warfare. Tanks overtook trench warfare. Tanks made rifles and small arms redundant. It is tanks that continue to define the offensive power of a nation. Post Galwan, post the Chinese aggression in Galwan, we have deployed a very large number of tanks in eastern Ladakh. And these have gone to the furthest places along the line of actual control by whatever means were available. And it is because of the deployment of these brave men of the Armored Corps that we have been able to look the Chinese in the eye and talk to them as equal in protecting our sovereignty and territorial integrity. So this is a great occasion for us as citizens of Rajkot as well. And I do hope that this T-55 tank will, for generations to come, provide inspiration to students, to encourage them to join the armed forces. Let me, on this occasion, also recall that there was an anecdotal, a very humorous anecdote concerning General Sam Manekshaw. People did not realize that General Sam Manekshaw himself, being a Parsi, was a Gujarati. And he himself sometimes did not consider that he was a Parsi. In a speech that he gave once, he said, Gujaratis are not good enough to join the Indian army as soldiers. And there was a Subedar Major who thought he should agree with the general. So he said, हाँ साहब, गुजराती जो है वो फौज में दाखिल होने के लिए लायक नहीं है. And there was another Subedar Major standing next to him who said, did you realize, તમને ખબર છે કે Sam Manekshaw himself is a Gujarati? So this Subedar Major was very quick thinking, and he once again said loudly, साहब वो सिर्फ अफसर बनने के लिए लायक है, वो सिर्फ जनरल बनने के लिए लायक है, वो सिर्फ एडमिरल बनने के लिए लायक है, वो एयर मार्शल बनने के लिए लायक है. So the point I'm making here is that Gujaratis are as good as anyone else. We have a very rich tradition of the princely states of Saurashtra providing a very, very steady stream of heroes for the armed forces. In every war, in every battle, we have contributed to the defense of this nation. And many of these heroes have come from the Rajkumar College. So long may this tradition survive at this school. Long may this tank provide inspiration to generations to come. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. May I request the guest of honor, General K.S. Brad, to give us say a few words to us.
Thank you. Kamagani Sase, Ambassador Shenoy, Director General Manohar Parikar, Institute of Defence Studies and Analysis, Thakur Sahab, Zainus, Mandata Singh ji, and all respected trustee members of Rajkumar College. Firstly, it's truly an honor to be invited to such a momentous occasion by the college, Ambassador Shenoy, the trust, and everybody. As Indian Army officers, there's no great honor than the citizens of the country honoring the Army. So one is, on behalf of the whole of Indian Army, I really want to thank everybody who's present here for honoring us and honoring this tank. And this tank symbolizes Indian Army. And all the sentiments expressed by Ambassador Shenoy, I think nothing more can be said that what Indian Army is, what the tank is, what others are. But being an Armored Corps and a Cavalier officer, I myself can't get too emotional when I see a tank. Because as he said, all cavalry regiments were riding horses. So we converted to tanks. So for us, tank is a living thing. And just to describe how living it is 49 years old. How did I guess that? There's a broad arrow which says 73. So it was born in 1973. So it is almost half a century old tank, given service to the Indian Army. It may have fought some wars. If we go into the details, we may be able to find it. But T-55 tank has served the Indian Army truly in 1965-71. And being from an army background, my grandfather, in fact, he was from infantry. And he had a lot of action, which I think I'll cover in the video. He told me join Armored Corps because tanks are the offensive action. They make you win wars. And they are a deterrent to anybody hampering or hindering the security of the nation. So therefore, as a cavalier, as an Indian Army officer, and of course, Gujaratis are good soldiers also, I am truly honored and very proud to be part of you all, and I'm honored by the respect and the graciousness of everything which has been shown to us. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
I just want to once again express my deep gratitude to General Karanbir Brar for accepting my suggestion and the school's invitation to join us in Rajkot. So please give him a very special hand. He actually is the one who is closest to this tank. As the Director General of the Armored Corps, he is the one who is closest to the tank and all that it stands for.
The dignitaries will now be proceeding towards the south ground. Thank you, sirs. The audience is requested to kindly remain seated and enjoy the documentary showcasing the kaleidoscope of the vibrant activities of RKC, while the NCC cadets and the school band take their positions. Thank you.
क्यों ना